Hi, it's Claire here. I've just got another analysis demo for you this afternoon. So following on from the land registry data analysis I did last time, I had some questions back from viewers, and one of the questions was, can we map the data that's in Nimbus Maps across the land reg data so you've got all the data in one place? And the answer is yes, you can. I'm going to show you how to do that today. But first of all, just going to give a quick overview of Nimbus Maps in case you're not familiar with it. Nimbus Maps is a great source of data for everyone in property, whether you're a property developer or an investor. It's a paid-for service predominantly, but they've also got a free version of it as well. So the paid-for version is normally, I think it's about £1,000 plus VAT per year if you pay for it up front. But you can get a 2-week free trial to Nimbus Elite, this paid service. So definitely recommend doing that. If you get that, you can actually go in and have a look at the data to see if it's going to be of use to you. For both Nimbus and Land Reg, you've got to pay for the title deeds. So if you want to find out who owns a property you're interested in, it's the same on both. One thing I will say though is Nimbus is very data rich. There's lots of different cuts of data on there, and I can give you a demo of that in a minute. But what I found is it can be more difficult to do a large data extract from Nimbus. I only seem to be able to pull out a few hundred rows at a time. Be interested to find out if other people have got the same experience on that. So let's give you a quick demo on Nimbus Maps. Let's just see if I can get across to Nimbus. Yeah, so here we go. So once you're logged in, this is what you see as the home page, and you'll see on the left-hand side you've got, you can filter different data out. You've got info when you go into an individual site. You can see who the ownership is and so forth. On the workflow, you can track all the different properties that you're interested in. One of the things I quite like is the overlays, where you can go in and see for really granular areas what the residential rateable value is per square foot. You can see the yield per square foot. You can see where the HMOs are, the councils, other bits of information, particularly if you're a developer, in terms like conservation areas, green belt, areas of outstanding natural beauty, scientific interest areas, special protection areas, national parks and so forth, which is all really interesting and useful. And I'm just going to do a very quick demo of how you get the data out. So if I look up Peterborough, because that's the area I looked at last time when I did the land reg demo, it'll go into here. It'll come up with a whole bunch of information there about different types of sites. I can then go in and filter it to, for example, just residential comparables rather than commercial or industrial. You can increase the radius, which is useful. You can then go in and say that you're only interested in, say, residential, for example, and then you can do the same, sort of further down here. You've got all the residential property types listed out there too. And then you can go search. And then it'll do a search on that area, and you can see it's brought up some white areas where they've got a bit more data, but it's not the whole area. They've only got it for some of the properties, but it's still useful as a set of comparables or benchmarks. You can then go into exports, and you can export the data by hitting, say, sales comparables, or if you want the planning data, you can export that as well. And it just pulls up in Excel in the bottom corner. I've done one already, just as a demo. So I went into Nimbus and picked up PE1 residential. And you can see in here that pulled back about 500 records. If I go to the land reg and pull up PE1 in total, it brings back about 19,000 records since the beginning of 1995. So clearly there's more records in the land reg data than there is in Nimbus, certainly on the trial version that I'm using. If you go in and pull in a smaller area, you get more, I think, sort of a better set of data if it's a particular postcode you're interested in. I think it also pulls out information for surrounding postcodes as well. But for this demo, I'm just going to use this Nimbus PE1 residential data, and I'm going to cross-compare it to the land reg data. So I did a quick summary, to have a look at, well, what data can I get out of Nimbus that I can't get out of the land reg? And a lot of the fields are the same, things like price paid, when the transaction took place, the postcode, the street number and the street address, and so forth is in there. I mean, in the land reg data, you've also got whether it's freehold or leasehold, you've got the type of property. In the Nimbus data, you've got the address and you've got the street and the postcode and the price and the date. You've also got then the size in terms of square foot, the rate per square foot, so that's the price divided by the square foot. You've got the estimated number of bedrooms. You've got the EPC rating as well. Now, for house or flat, it just says house or flat. It doesn't tell you if it's detached or semi-detached or terraced, and we had that already from the land reg data. So I think it's probably easier to pull in the missing fields from Nimbus into land reg. You've also got then the Rightmove link as well, which is really helpful if you then want to go up and look up the individual properties on Rightmove as well. So let's look at how we can then integrate these two sets of data into one big spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use 4 fields that are common between the two sets of data to come up with a combined reference. I'm going to use the primary address number, I'm going to use the street, the postcode and the date, because that's the same in both. I'll put them in bold on both these tables here. And then I'm going to use that to pull through the information that's in light sort of turquoise here into my land reg data. So I'm going to start with Nimbus and go to the first column. It's important you start with the first column. So click on that, and if you right click and go insert, it will insert a column. I'm just going to format that column's header the same. I'm going to call this combo. And then in that very first cell I'm going to put equals, and I want to pull up the PAON, which is the primary address field, and I'm going to use ampersand. I want to pick up the street, which is in here, and I want to pick up the postcode, so I'm going to use the ampersand again, and I want to pick up the date. Now the date will come through as a number on the end, so it won't be a very pretty string of text, but it's a unique string of text that we can then use to cross map to the land reg data. So if I double click on the green square in the corner using the left mouse button, that will copy that formula all the way down, right away to the bottom, so that's done that, which is good. And if I go into my land reg data, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to insert a column on here. There we go, it's saying there's a lot of data in there to move across, that's fine. I'm going to do the same, so right click on that column and go insert, and it's going to do the same again. So I think about that. Now if I highlight the 2 columns and go insert, it'll insert 2 columns for me, and go OK there. And then I want another 2 columns as well, so I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to ask it to insert another 2 columns for me, right click insert, then I get my 6 columns there. Alright, now the first one I'm going to call combo as well, because I'm going to make a combo reference in the same way I've just done on the Nimbus data. I'm then going to put the size in terms of square foot on here. I'm then going to put in the rate per square foot on here. I'm going to put in the number of bedrooms. No, try and type that correctly. And then I'm going to put in the EPC. And then I want my right move link as well, where it's available. So that's all the fields that I'm interested in there. So the combo is the same as before. I'm going to go equals. I'm then going to look at this PAON field, the primary address field. Here we go, it's here. I'm going to go PAON, and I want the street, which is here, and with the ampersand again, I want the postcode, and I want the deed date, like that. So again, another string of data that I can use to cross-refer. I've got the green square in the corner again, so I'm going to double click on that, and hopefully it's copied that all the way down. Just double check, control and down. Yeah, right away to the bottom of the 19,000 rows in there. Now we're going to use something called a VLOOKUP to pull through the data. So to make it a bit clearer as to what's going on here, I'm going to go in here and insert a row at the top. I'm going to number up the columns, because this is what we're going to use for our VLOOKUP. Rather than typing those in, I'm just going to pull that across here using my green square again. Don't really want to go any further than the right move link. Let's just put that in yellow to make it a bit easier to see. So we've got the combo on here in the first column, and then we've got all the other fields across here. So what I'm going to ask it to do is I'm going to go equals, and I'm going to do what's known as a VLOOKUP. That's a vertical lookup. I'm going to ask it to look up my combo field from my land reg. I'm going to put a $sign in front of that to make sure it always looks at column A. I'm going to put a comma even. I'm going to go back to my Nimbus sheet, and I'm going to highlight the whole column right the way through from column A. I'm going to hold down my left mouse button and drag it across, and that should take me across to column P. And again, I'm going to put a in front of the A and the P to make sure it's always looking at column A through to column P. Now, the very first piece of information I want to pull out in that area is in column 9. So basically what I'm telling it to do is look at my combo from land reg that I've created. I'm saying look at it in this area. So it's got the combo in that first column, and it's looking right the way across to column P. But what I'm going to ask it to do is give me the information that's in column 9. So I'm going to type in 9. And then I want it to be an exact match, so I'm going to type in false, or double click here and do a close bracket, and then it'll come up with #NA means that it hasn't found it. So what we're going to do, because we know we've only got about 500 and something records in Nimbus, I'm going to put if error and then an open bracket. So basically if it doesn't find anything having done the lookup, I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to put 2 lots of quotation marks. I'm going to say just put nothing, don't fill it with #NA. So that comes up with nothing. Now if I drag that across to here, we can then go in and update that formula to pull through the relevant columns of data. So the size in terms of square foot, when we looked in here, was in column 9. The rate per square foot is in column 10. So I can go back in and say I want that 9 to be a 10 for this column. I think the bedrooms was right next to it. So if I scroll across, we've got bedrooms is in column 11 and EPC is in column 13. So the bedrooms, I'm going to tell it I want column 11 by changing the 9 to 11. And then the EPC was in column 13. And then I think that the right move data was a little bit further across. So I've scrolled across, we've got the Nimbus link, and we've got the right move link in, yeah, here we go, column 16. So for the right move formula, I'm saying basically look up my combo, look it up in this area and bring back column 16. There we go, just like that. And if I highlight all of that, I've got the green square in the corner. If I double click on that, it'll copy those formulas right the way through to the bottom. And again, I can just double check it's done that. If I press Control and down, yeah, it's gone right the way to the bottom row on here. So now, if I go back to data and go filter, I can go in and you can see it's pulled through the information where it's got it available. If I unclick the blanks, that's all the areas where we've got records that match up on the right move data, the EPC, the bedrooms, square foot and so forth from Nimbus. In terms of the number of records it's matched, I can see I've got, yeah, 397, so it's not matched up every single row, but what I found before looking through the Nimbus data is that there'll be some records for a sale that are duplicated. I don't know if they've got different cross-references to different data sources, but certainly where the data does match across, that's a really good way of getting the information through from your Nimbus data into the LandReg data, and then at least you've got all your data in one place there. And then if you want to go through and see the right move reference for that particular property, you can. So that hopefully gives you a bit of an overview in terms of the how you integrate the data into Excel. Do let me know if you've got any questions. I'll be putting this video up on YouTube so other people can see it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.